Hi friends! Today I'm reading A Peacock Among Pigeons by Tyler Curry. My name is Peter and I was born a peacock. Don't ask me how it happened, but somehow, someway, I grew up in a flock of pigeons. And being a peacock in a family of pigeons isn't easy at all. You see, pigeons don't always like others who are different. Sometimes pigeons can treat other birds like they're not good enough, just because they don't look the same or fly the same. They can call them names and make them feel like they are strange, weird, or that they don't belong. My pigeon flock thought I walked funny. They thought I talked funny. And they said my feathers were too colorful for a boy bird like me. And when you grow up with no other peacocks around, it can be easy to think they're right. I spent a long time hiding my colorful feathers and pretending I was a pigeon. I tucked my feathers away and covered myself with mud and dirt to hide my bright colors. I walked upright like a pigeon, I puffed out my chest like a pigeon, and I kept my tail from swishing and swaying so no one would notice how different I was. But it was no use. Whenever I relaxed, one of my flashy feathers would slip out. Everyone would notice, point, and laugh. My pigeon friends would call me names. They would pretend to walk like me and make fun of my voice. Even though I acted like them, any beak with two eyes could see I didn't belong. One day, when no pigeons were around, I walked by a puddle and looked at my reflection. The bird I saw looking back was an ugly bird who was flashy, flamboyant, and embarrassing. I thought my blues were too blue, my greens were too green, and my gold hues were far too girly for a boy bird to have. I believed what the other pigeons said and didn't like the bird that was staring back at me. But there was no use trying to be a pigeon because I'd never be able to change my feathers. It was time to fly out on my own. At first, my journey was a lonely one, but one day I met a cardinal named Craig. He was sassy and bold. He told me funny stories that made me laugh and laugh. He didn't seem to mind being around a peacock like me. Craig introduced me to his canary friend Sarah. Sarah was very friendly and had a sing-song voice that made me smile. Do you know what she told me? She thought my feathers were beautiful. So beautiful, in fact, she wanted to introduce me to Owen the owl. Owen was smart. Owen was sophisticated. Owen moved like no bird I had ever seen before. He said he liked the way I moved, too. Craig, Sarah, and Owen introduced me to more of their friends, each unique and beautiful in their own way. There was Fanny the flamingo, who made even me feel plain and ordinary with her dazzling pinks and whites. There was Henry the hummingbird, who never finished a sentence before fluttering away. There was Benny the blue jay, who was the fastest bird I had ever seen. And there was Penny the parrot, who was very nice and loved to talk. There were so many different birds, some bold, some sweet, some smart, and some funny, but each one was special in their own way. On one very special day, I came upon a beautiful bird I'd never seen before. He had the brightness of yellow, like Sarah, the canary friend, the boldness of blue, like Benny, the blue jay. His tail swished back and forth like he was dancing, and his feathers had a beautiful starry glow. On the very top of his head, he had a funny crown of feathers that fluttered about. He was the most beautiful bird I had ever seen. I just had to take a closer look, so I took a few steps closer, but the beautiful bird disappeared. Instead, I saw ripples of the puddle I had just stepped in. I squinted my eyes in disbelief. It was my own reflection, but could it really be me? For so long, I saw what the pigeon saw, and although my feathers never changed, I saw myself differently after meeting new birds who were special and liked me for the peacock I am. I wasn't just a silly bluebird with flashy feathers and a funny walk. My flamboyant tail filled with bright colors no longer embarrassed me. And I didn't want to be just like the rest of my pigeon flock. I was happy to be me. Whether you're as bright as a canary, as cool as a cardinal, as flashy as a flamingo, your feathers are what make you special. So embrace who you are from beak to bird feet, and never let anyone break your stride. And always remember to love the feathers you were born with. Peter, the Peacock.